Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're the place where we really get into the fascinating stories hidden in, well, the sources we track down.
That's right.
And today, we're taking you on a journey to a place that genuinely seems to exist between worlds. I'm talking about the enigmatic exclave of Kaliningrad. Now, imagine this, a region that's technically legally Russian,
Yeah.
but, as our source material suggests, often feels European deep down in its soul.
It's quite the picture.
It is.
That
It's
is
a
a s-
place scarred by shifting borders,
Yeah.
where identity is this constant complex negotiation between being erased and just trying to survive.
It's an absolutely unique geopolitical situation, isn't it? I mean, tucked right there between Poland and Lithuania,
Uh-huh.
both EU and NATO nations. And it's this little sliver of Russia, but physically cut off from the mainland, over 300 kilometers away.
That isolation, it just sets the perfect stage for our deep dive today. We're looking at an extraordinary album. It's titled Borderlight, A Woman's Sonic Rebellion from Kaliningrad.
Sounds intense.
It is. And you'll find it's not just music, not by a long shot. It's this multi-layered act of resistance, of memory, of reclaiming identity, all told through sound.
Wow.
And what really grabbed me, it's sung and spoken in 5 languages.
Live.
Yeah. German, Polish, Lithuanian, Russian, and English.
Okay, that's something else. The source material must be fascinating then.
Oh, it is. It gives us a fantastic exploration of this album, dives right into the geopolitical background, the really powerful artistic themes.
And the personal story behind it all.
Exactly. The profound story of this woman who seems to embody ancestral memory, but also this real creative urgency.
Right.
So our mission today really is to pull apart this intricate tapestry for you. We'll guide you through 3 main pillars that our source highlights.
Okay, what are they?
First, we'll unpack this whole idea of exile and identity in the post-Soviet world, specifically looking at Kaliningrad's unique kind of limbo. Second, we'll explore how using multiple languages, multilingualism, actually functions as a form of sonic resistance. Sound as rebellion. Interesting.
And finally, we'll look at a really powerful theme, feminist reclamation through embodied art. Art lived through the body.
Got it. Exile, language, the body.
That's it. So get ready. We're going to uncover some, I think, genuinely surprising facts and really profound insights. Hopefully help you understand what it means to reclaim a voice, a lineage representation, especially in this world of complex, shifting identities.
Sounds like a great deep dive. Let's get into it.
Okay, so to really get this album Borderlight, we first need to understand the place it comes from, Kaliningrad, this geopolitical paradox.
Right. You can't separate the art from the context here.
Not at all. Our source paints a really vivid picture. This region, now a Russian exclave, it wasn't always Russian, it was Königsberg.
The capital of East Prussia.
Exactly.
Okay.
Founded way back by the Teutonic Knights, 13th century. And it became this major center of German Enlightenment thought,
Home to Immanuel Kant, no less.
the philosopher himself. So a place with deep German roots.
Uh-huh. And then, well, the landscape just changed completely after World War II, 1945. Yeah.
It was annexed by the Soviet Union, the German population. Forcibly expelled.
Yeah.
Gone.
Wow. Cleared out.
And the city renamed Kaliningrad. Then repopulated with ethnic Russians.
And the city itself, the buildings, the streets, that changed too.
Oh, dramatically. Reshaped by Soviet brutalism. You know, the style is those imposing, stark, concrete structures. All about function.
Effectively erasing the German past, the architecture.
Pretty much, yeah. Wiping the visual slate clean.
But here's what's so fascinating. Despite all that, and even though it's strategically vital for Russia
The
today,
Baltic Fleet, missile installations.
yeah.
Very important.
Despite that, the source says many residents actually feel culturally closer to, say, Berlin or Gdansk than they do to St. Petersburg or Moscow.
That isolation really does something, doesn't it? Creates a different pull.
It seems so. And the material highlights this point. Unlike other parts of Russia, Kaliningrad doesn't have that pre-Soviet Russian heritage.
That's a key difference. No deep Russian roots going back centuries there.
So that lack, it fosters this sense of maybe detachment. And you see the Europeanness reinforced in other ways.
Like the languages.
Yeah, multilingualism, you hear German, Polish, Lithuanian, English alongside Russian, and just a general openness maybe to the West. Fashion, education, media.
It really makes you wonder how Moscow views this, or if they even fully grasp this distinct Kaliningrad identity bubbling up.
Exactly. And this liminality, this being in limbo, it's not just geographical, it gets internalized deeply by the protagonist of Borderlight.
Okay, so how does that come through in the music?
Well, the source points to a specific track. My passport says Russian, and in it you hear this aching voice. Someone made invisible in their own city.
Invisible? How?
Her mixed-race identity makes it worse, apparently. Bureaucracy becomes a kind of weapon, defining her or misdefining her. She's seen as a threat, a ghost, an error, not even a person.
That's harsh. And it probably speaks to a wider experience, right? Post-Soviet identities can be fractured.
Definitely. Imposed erasure, fractured citizenship. It's a common story, sadly. And for this woman, denied that consistent identity by the state, memory becomes her real homeland.
Memory as homeland.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
It's a way to survive. Self-preservation, like you said. It comes up in tracks like The Museum of Lost Names and Baltic Bones.
So she's digging into the past.
Yes, but the source makes an interesting distinction. It's not simple nostalgia. It's described as archival grief and embodied mourning.
Archival grief, embodied mourning. What does that mean exactly? How does that make remembrance revolutionary?
Well, I think it means it's not passive. It's not just fondly remembering what was. It's actively, physically feeling the loss, carrying that ancestral trauma, that history in her body and her art.
Ah, I see. So the act of remembering itself becomes a form of resistance. It's physical present.
Precisely. And this personal struggle, the source points out, actually mirrors something larger happening in Kaliningrad.
Which is?
This quiet but persistent emergence of, well, autonomous and even separatist feelings, especially heating up after 2014 and then 2022.
Really? Separatist sentiments?
Yeah, civil society groups, artists, young people, they're exploring regionalism, self-determination more openly.
That's significant. Is there any sense of how widespread that feeling might be?
Okay, get ready for this. Here's where the source drops a really thought-provoking statistic. Studies, anecdotal reports. They suggest as many as 50% of Kaliningraders.
60%? Half.
Half are unafraid to admit they want a stronger regional identity, more autonomy from Russia.
That's huge. That really challenges the idea of a monolithic Russian identity.
Doesn't it? It suggests this deep local yearning for self-definition, something maybe Moscow overlooks or doesn't want to see. What does that tell us about national identity in these post-Soviet spaces, where homeland is so fluid?
Well, it definitely implies a pushback, doesn't it, against central control, a reassertion of the local, the regional, against the big national story.
Yeah.
It suggests that even in a place under heavy state influence, that regional consciousness can be incredibly strong, a powerful undercurrent.
Okay, so that sets the stage. Now, let's pivot to how Borderlight uses language. Not just what she says, but the languages she uses. It's presented as both a weapon and a shield.
Language is an active agent, not just communication, but survival, rebellion.
Exactly. She uses 5 languages, remember?
Yeah.
And the source says each has a specific role.
Right. German for ancestry, you said.
German for ancestry, Polish for protest, Lithuanian for intimacy, Russian, interestingly, for subversion, and English for translation, connecting across borders.
That's incredibly deliberate, subverting Russian from within the language itself.
Seems like it. And it's not about showing off multiculturalism. Take the track Mixed Blood, No Country.
Okay.
Her voice apparently trembles through what the source calls a labyrinth of mispronunciations and forgotten phrases.
Ah, so it's not fluent, perfect command.
No, it creates this mosaic of inherited fragmentation, like puzzle pieces of identity, language, history. They're all there, but they don't fit smoothly.
Recycling a broken past.
Exactly. The way she speaks them reveals the scars. It's described as a fractured sacred inheritance she carries.
That fragmentation then leads us to the sound itself, right? The music becomes political terrain, too.
Absolutely. The sound design is intentional, ambient, minimalist, sometimes jarring. It's a canvas for critique.
Not just background music.
Definitely not. A key example is KGB Dream Diary.
Okay, that title alone.
Right. It uses reversed audio, Morse code signals, Cold War-era synths.
Very evocative of that era of surveillance control.
And the source explains these choices mimic the logic of oppression and its inversion through art. It pulls you into that feeling of state violence, paranoia, but also resilience.
So the music itself fights back. A sonic counter-narrative.
That's a great way to put it. And by layering all this, the languages, the memories, these sonic symbols, Borderlight becomes this living transcultural archive.
An archive, but not like a dusty library.
No, the source stresses it's emotional, not chronological, soul deep, not state approved. It's her record, on her terms.
A personal history, but one that resonates outwards.
Right. Tracks like Learning to Paint in Silence or Censored Nude, they add to this alternative history, built from, as the source poetically puts it, breath, blood, and broken instruments.
Wow.
It's just asserting itself, not asking permission. An undeniable assertion of self, built from the inside out.
Okay, so we've talked about Kaliningrad's identity, language's resistance.
Mm-hmm.
Where does the feminist reclamation come in? You mentioned the body as a border.
Yes. This is the third pillar, and it's incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
The album takes this resistance right down to the physical level. Her own body becomes this borderland.
A battleground.
A battleground. The source says it's the site where empire, patriarchy, and policy collide, literally on her skin.
How is that shown?
There's a track called She Drew Borders on Her Skin.
Whoa.
Yeah? And it portrays self-harm not as pathology, not as sickness,
But as geopolitics.
as geopolitics. Each scar is a border drawn on herself, each cut a protest. It's framed as self-definition in a world that sees women, especially women of mixed heritage, as land to be claimed.
That is incredibly stark, turning the political onto the personal physically.
It's confronting. And then there's Censored Nude. Here, she tackles the censorship of the female form head-on with full frontal sonic defiance.
Sonic defiance. What did that sound like?
Well, the piece apparently uses spoken Russian layered over jazz chords and static, simulating that digital erasure, glitches, bars, things being blocked out.
Like online censorship.
Exactly. But then it overwhelms that static with raw presence. Her nudity isn't just exposure. The source calls it pedagogical.
Pedagogical, meaning
Right.
it's teaching us something.
Yes, teaching the listener how to see her, not as content, not as an object or an image to be consumed.
But as context, as a person with a history, a struggle, a reality.
Right. She's refusing to be a sanitized symbol, demanding you engage with the difficult reality.
That refusal seems key. Refusing erasure, refusing sanitization. Does this connect to her ancestry too?
It does. The album also strongly features the reclamation of matrilineal histories. The female line.
How so?
In Königsberg was a woman. The city itself, her lost ancestral home, is reimagined as a matriarch denied her name.
Giving the city a female identity, connecting it to her own lineage.
Exactly. Her artistic lineage, the source says beautifully, spirals through grandmother's kitchens, archived documents, and whispered lullabies.
Grounding it in everyday female experience, but elevating it.
Yes, it transforms her story from just victimhood into something mythic, powerful. And this refusal to inherit the past meekly comes through in Daughter of the Exclave.
What happens there?
The protagonist symbolically shatters a mirror, embraces a future where her daughters would not weep,
Would
roar, refusing to pass down that inherited obedience, breaking the cycle.
roar. That's a powerful image to end on. It really captures that defiant spirit you've been describing.
It really does. All these threads, the contested place, the fight for language, reclaiming the body, they just weave together into something incredibly profound.
Yeah.
So as we kind of wrap up our deep dive into Borderlight, what's the big takeaway? The overarching message it leaves us with?
Well, I think the album, at its heart, it acts as a kind of signal, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Especially, as the source says, for those who feel erased, people who might hear themselves in that echo. It creates this alternative space where hidden voices can emerge, find some solidarity.
A signal cutting through the noise. I like that. And the album leaves us with one last really provocative thought, doesn't it? From that track, I Am Not an Exile.
Yes. That idea that ultimate freedom, it isn't about finding a physical place to belong, not a spot on a map.
Right. It's about discovering an inner homeland.
An inner homeland, a kind of self-sovereignty, being, as the source puts it, unwritten by others, unbordered.
Unbordered within yourself. Yeah.
Exactly. And that raises a really important question, I think, for you listening. What does it actually mean to be not an exile? To always be, in a sense, returning to yourself. It's a journey that maybe for some ends not in a location, but in this deep sense of self-acceptance.
Yeah.
Self-sovereignty.
Absolutely. Something to really chew on. We hope this deep dive has given you a richer feel for this incredible sonic rebellion, Borderlight, and just the sheer power of art to redefine what belonging even means.